You ever catch yourself doing mental math in your relationship? Like, okay, I did bedtime, the laundry, the dishes, handled the birthday gift for their mom. That's like 4 things. They took out the trash, half a thing. So technically, I'm up by 3.5. Here's the truth. You're not just tired. You're keeping a running tab of all the things that are making you tired. You notice who initiated the last date night, who apologized first after the last argument, who reached out for touch last and got rejected, and somewhere between I've got it and I've got it all, your relationship stopped feeling spontaneous and started feeling transactional. You want to relax. You want those little surprise hugs in the kitchen, and hey, I grabbed your favorite snack moments again. But there's this voice in your head saying, if I stop keeping score, I'm just going to get walked all over. If that's you, stay with me. I'm going to show you 5 steps to trade scorekeeping for real-life spontaneity without losing your mind or your boundaries. If you feel resentful, exhausted, and secretly terrified that you care more than your partner, you're not broken. You're just stuck in a pattern that pretends to protect you, but actually keeps you from the very connection that you want. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple 5-step score reset you can use anytime you catch yourself tallying. It's going to help you feel more like teammates again while still honoring your limits and your very real needs for fairness. Hey! I'm Ashley, founder of Playful Remedies. I help couples escape the to-do list romance and bring back the fun, the laughter, and those bite-sized moments to make you fall in love again without adding more relationship homework to your life. So if you're ready to stop treating your love life like a shared Google spreadsheet, tap that subscribe button and I've got you. And since we're on our way to being fast friends, let's be honest. Scorekeeping isn't random. It usually comes from beliefs like, if I don't track it, nothing will ever change. If they love me, I wouldn't have to ask. If I let this go, I'll drown in doing everything. And underneath those beliefs, fear of being taken for granted, fear of never getting your needs met, fear that the spark is gone and this is just how we are now. The problem is, scorekeeping doesn't create connection. It creates court cases. You start building a file of evidence against your partner instead of a life with them. So we're going to walk through my 5-step score reset to help you move from you owe me to we're in this together. Here's where we're going. 1, spot the scorecard. 2, connect the score to the need. 3, own your part out loud. 4, redesign the rules together. And 5, experiment with everyday play. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Step number 1 to replace scorekeeping with spontaneity in your relationship is to spot the scorecard. This is where we're going to gather awareness before the explosion. Right now, your scoreboard is running in the background like an app draining your battery. It sounds like, I did bedtime 3 nights this week. I initiated the last 4 times. I always plan the trips. They just show up. And then, one tiny thing happens. They forget to switch the laundry, and suddenly you're seeing 3 years worth of imbalance in one soggy load of towels. So step 1 is not stop keeping score. Step number 1 is notice when the scorecard pops up. Catch the phrases. I always. They never. Last time I. Notice what happens in your body. Clenched jaw, tight chest, that hot rush of, oh, absolutely not. Then internally label it. Okay, I'm keeping score right now. That tiny moment of naming it buys you a pause between I'm hurt and I'm about to burn this whole kitchen down over a fork. Here's where most couples get tripped up, jumping straight to the confrontation. You never help. I do everything. That might be how you feel, but it shuts down their nervous system and turns the conversation into defense, not understanding. Spot first, speak second. Step number 2 to taming the scorekeeping in your relationship is to connect the score to the need. Here, we move from tallying tasks to understanding the deeper longing. When you're keeping score, you might not actually be bothered by the dishes or trash or who initiated last. You're trying to prove something to yourself. I am alone in this. I don't matter. I'm not desired. I'm not a priority. So once you've spotted the scorecard, ask yourself, if this tally is true, what does that mean about me, about them, about us? Some examples of gathering evidence for your case could look like, if I do more housework, that means I'm the only reliable adult here. If I'm always the one initiating, that means they don't really want me. The trick is to go deeper and to translate your feeling into a need. I need to feel like I have a partner, not a second child. I need to feel desired, not like I'm begging for companionship. I need my effort to be seen and appreciated. Why this matters? If you skip identifying the need, every conversation becomes a debate about facts. Well, I did the dishes on Monday. Yeah, but I did them on Tuesday. No one wins because you're arguing over the scoreboard instead of the need underneath it. And this is the move that feels justified, but really makes things worse. Staying at the surface is when you just say, you don't help, instead of, I'm feeling really alone in this. Step number 3 to replace scorekeeping with spontaneity in your relationship is to own your part out loud. This is the gently confronting part. It's so important to create safety so that your partner doesn't shut down. Instead of coming in hot with, you never do anything unless I ask, lead with ownership. I'm noticing I've been keeping score in my head, and it's making me feel really resentful, and I don't want to stay stuck in that. You're not saying, it's all my fault. You're saying, I see the pattern I'm in, and I want out. Imagine connecting with your partner by saying, hey, can I tell you something that's been going on in my head? I've been tallying things like who does what, who initiates, who remembers stuff, and I've realized that it's not helping. Underneath that, I think I'm really feeling alone, or I really think I'm feeling unappreciated, or I really have been feeling not wanted. I don't want to be judgy and I want to feel like your teammate again. Can we talk about it together? Notice how you own the scorekeeping. You name the feeling. You share the desire. Let's be teammates again. You invite collaboration. But what if they shut down or get defensive? If they say, so what, now I'm being the bad guy? You can respond with, no, this isn't about you being the bad guy. This is about a pattern that's making both of us lose. I'm telling you this because I want us to feel closer, not to keep fighting about who's right. This is usually where things go sideways. If you use I feel as a sneaky you suck, you may say, I feel like you're being selfish and lazy. This is an accusation in a costume. It's best to stick to your experience. Let me bring this to life with a couple we'll call Jess and Marcus. Jess could tell you, down to the minute, how much they did compared to Marcus in a week. Drop-offs, pickups, appointments, who texted first, who initiated intimacy, who checked in emotionally. Jess's brain was an Olympic-level scoreboard. Every few weeks, it blew up. Jess would say things like, do you even see everything that I do? Marcus would shut down, get quiet, and eventually snap. Nothing I do is ever good enough for you. They weren't connecting. They were just building evidence against each other. So when we worked together, I walked Jess through this score reset. When we started with step 1 and 2, realizations were had like, I'm constantly tallying things in my head, but under that, I feel like if I don't hold the scoreboard, no one will take care of me. When they were ready, Jess used step 3 with Marcus by saying, I don't want to be your judge. I want to feel like we're on the same team again. Can we look at this together? And instead of fighting over who did more, they moved to step 4, where we'll be going next, which is where I'll show you how to redesign the rules. And the wild part, the first week they did this, Marcus initiated 2 small things: helping with the dishes without being asked, and planning a simple movie night. And just literally cried because it was the first time in a long time that it didn't feel like a trade. That's what can happen when you stop using your resentment as your only protection. Step number 4 to shut down the scorekeeping in your relationship is to redesign the rules. This is where you create good enough fairness so spontaneity feels safe, not reckless. This can be where people in relationships get worried. If I stop keeping the score, nothing will change. That's totally a valid fear. We're not saying burn the scoreboard and hope for the best. We're saying, let's rewrite the rules together so that the scoreboard isn't the only thing keeping you sane. What if you said, hey, could we have a 15-minute chat about how we divide things? Not to blame, just to make this feel more fair for the both of us. Then each of you can share 1 to 2 things that feel unfair right now. Maybe I feel overwhelmed by the mental load of remembering everything, or I feel criticized when I try and it's like it's never enough. Next, define good enough for this week, not forever. Good enough this week could be you own bedtime routine, I own laundry, and we both take 20 minutes to clean the kitchen after dinner together. How does that sound? Now choose 1 tiny change each. Maybe partner A says, I'll stop assuming you see what needs to be done and actually ask for help when I feel overwhelmed. And then maybe partner B says, I'll check in once a day and ask if there's anything I can take off your plate tonight. You're not creating a 37-tab spreadsheet. You're just creating a living, breathing agreement that you can adjust. I know you may be wondering, what if they say this feels like a performance review or you're overreacting? You could respond, I get that this might feel intense. I'm not trying to grade you. I'm trying to find a way for us to both feel less resentful and more like a team. What would make this conversation feel safer for you? This is the part that tends to backfire for a lot of couples, trying to fix everything in one conversation. My advice, pick 1 or 2 areas of improvement, not your entire relationship. Step number 5 for how you can enjoy more experiences with your partner is to experiment with everyday play. Replace transactional energy with low-pressure spontaneity. Now that you've spotted the scorecard, connected it to a need, owned your part, and redefined the rules, your nervous system is a bit safer. You're not white-knuckling fairness. This is where spontaneity can actually come back, but not in a grand movie scene way, instead in a tiny, doable way that doesn't depend on perfect conditions. Simply pick 1 playful experiment per day and keep it tiny. While cooking, say, okay, we're going to do a 30-second dance while stirring the pasta challenge, no rhythm required. Or after the kids are in bed, pick a number 1 through 3. Whatever you choose, that's our 10-minute connection thing tonight. 1 could be for cuddling and music, 2 could be a quick question game, 3 could be a silly YouTube video and a snack. Or during chores, whoever makes the other person laugh first gets to pick the show tonight. You're sending this message to your brain. We can be on the same team, have fun, and nobody has to earn it first. But what if you try something playful and they shut it down or it feels awkward? You could say something like, okay, that felt a little awkward, which is totally normal for us right now. No pressure to make it perfect. I'm just trying to help us feel a little lighter together. And something awkward doesn't mean wrong. It could just mean that something's new. Even if you only do step 5 for a week, 1 bite-sized, playful moment a day, your relationship will start feeling less like a business meeting and more like, 2 humans who actually like each other. Or if all of this really feels like a lot right now, Just start with step 1 this week. Say, for the next 7 days, I'm just going to notice when I'm keeping score and gently name it to myself. You will be amazed how much changes when you stop letting the scoreboard run on autopilot. There are at least 10 ways I walk couples through how to soften scorekeeping and bring back spontaneity, but this 5-step score reset is the foundation. Inside my free 5-day couples reset, we take this even deeper and actually practice it with simply daily resets. And the best part? No extra date nights are required. So let's recap the score reset. 1. Spot the scorecard. Notice when you're tallying and name it instead of exploding. Step number 2, connect the score to the need. Ask, what does this prove in my head? And turn that into a clear need. Number 3, own your part out loud. Share vulnerably. I'm keeping score and I don't want to live like this. Here's how I feel. Number 5, redesign the rules together. Create good enough agreements so fairness doesn't depend on resentment. And step number 5 is experiment with everyday play. Add bite-sized, playful, low-pressure moments so connection becomes spontaneous again. And your big takeaway? You don't have to choose between fairness and fun. You can have both if you're willing to retire the secret scoreboard and build something better together. Here's your action step for tonight. Catch one moment where you're keeping score and ask yourself, what need is underneath this? Share just that with your partner using step number 3. You could say, I'm realizing that I'm tallying things in my head, and underneath, I really feel blank. I don't want to stay stuck in this pattern. I want us to feel like teammates again. Then, if it feels safe, add one mini playful experiment, even if it's just, okay, serious talk over. Want to do a 30-second ridiculous dance with me before we go back to lifing? Alrighty, if this hit home and you're like, yep, I've definitely been running an invisible scoreboard in my relationship, I'd love to help you keep going. First, tap that subscribe button. We drop quick, no fluff relationship resets to help couples shift out of the roommate mode and bring back the spark one meaningful moment at a time. Second, if you're ready to stop working on your relationship like a project and actually enjoy it again, join the priority list to get notified about my next free 5-day couples challenge, the Ultimate Couples Reset, at playfulremedies.com. We'll spend 5 days together gently retiring the scorecards, rebuilding safety, and reconnecting through bite-sized playful moments that actually fit into real life. And in the comments, tell me which step of the score reset are you starting with tonight? Or just type no more scorecards if you're done keeping a tally. You don't need a new partner, you just need a new playbook. Let the games, giggles, and googly eyes begin.